honestly, and I'm gonna pause here and say that this marriage thing is not a joke. You're born in a refugee camp. Uzo, that was a hunger personified space, hunger of all forms. But for me to come out of there and to be in one of the metropolitan cities in the world and sit in hiding.
Exactly. Like how dare you really? How dare you?
Yeah.
That's why they say the graveyard is very rich, because it's filled with people who never there's a lot of potential that's buried in the graveyard, because people were not bold enough to go out and express what they were supposed to give to the world.
Oh my God, if there's anything I tell girls, please be intentional. Say no and mean it. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Nobody's going to kill you if you're scared. Nobody's going to kill you. That's how we got introduced. Then after, we would go out, this and that. And honestly, when you don't have a plan, when you don't have intentionality about going out with that person, don't do it. Don't do it. This is what I tell young girls. Don't do it. If you have no plans of pursuing this relationship, if you're not feeling it, if there is no compatibility of all forms, whether emotional, physical, whatever it is, don't go ahead. For me, I was just focused. I'm in school. I'm very much focused in my studies. I'm studying so hard and all of that. It didn't occur to me that this man is going to marry you, girl. You know how the church people do. The Lord has done it. He has answered our prayers. He's a pastor. He knows what he's saying. And I'm standing there like a tree. I'm just in my makeup and my heels and all of that. That was it. And if I tell you that I still didn't understand what I was doing, I still didn't think that the moment would come and I'll be in this man's house. If that's your purpose, why not? That's okay. But for me, I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just following the guy who already knew what he was doing. I went through divorce. Just accountability to myself. God, this life, this journey, I must be intentional about in anything and everything. I must be. Even if it means that there is no man coming, I'm going to be okay with that. But one thing for sure, there's no way I am entering anybody's house. Forget about marriage, even any other relationship. Anything I'm planning to do, whether it's a job, I have to know what I'm doing. To mothers out there, if you're watching and you're listening, speak good into your children. Pour out every beautiful thing, and I think it is Solomon who says that the beautiful words are like honey that soothes the heart. So the words that we speak to our children, they are so much needed. They are so much imperative for their journey, because there will be a moment where you're not walking with them. I don't think my mother knew that she would not be there when I'm all grown and I'm going through all these issues.
This opportunity again for those who speak negative words to their children, because some of the adults that you see today, some people who are shrinking. They are shrinking because that is the seed that was sown into them by their parents. They were taught you are this. You are this. So every time they even when they face challenges, all they are thinking is, I'm not really anything. So therefore, and that's how people.
Might as well be just that. You want to paint their mind. They love their father like they love me, and I didn't want them to ever look at him differently. And I'm glad that's how it is. It still is.
I have a guest today with me, Miss Paula Bagamba, and this is a conversation that is just to embolden people. Actually, she has started on a new path now to teach people how she crossed all the different challenges that she faced. And her message is telling the world that the boldness is there for us to hold on to. And when you listen to her story, you can see that if someone can go through the things that she went through, then you also have a big chance to overcome the challenges that you face. And this story is going to inspire you to not give up on life, to not give up when you're facing tough times. She has written a book titled Defined for Purpose, and it's a book about the struggles that she's been through. Let's just get into it. Buckle down and welcome Miss Paula Bagamba. Thank you, Paula, for joining on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to hearing your story. So your book is Defined for Purpose. I'm going to put it up here.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Can you give a little background on why you wrote this book? And I already told the audience what your intention is. Let us in on your background and your motivation for telling the story that you're telling and what it is that you're trying to, what's the message that you're trying to put out from your experiences?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. In order for me to introduce myself, really, I'd have to go back to my roots, the genesis of my life. But before then, my name is Paula. I am a two-time author. I wrote 2 books. I'm a mother. I'm a speaker. I recently founded Boldspire community podcast and a community at the same time. So I came to Canada back when I was a teenager, and I went through the whole navigation of life here in Canada as I went to high school, did university, got married along the way, got 2 kids and all of that, So, but going back to the inspiration of why I started writing to begin with, it starts with, I was born in a refugee camp. So my story begins in a refugee camp somewhere in the western part of Uganda. It's East Africa. My parents were originally from Rwanda, but they had been pushed out because of the war and all of those things. So they had to flee to Uganda, and they became refugees there in the 50s. So I was born really in that refugee camp. So my journey begins with, so in my writings, I write about pain, I write about the struggles, I write about the very things that we all go through. But we experience them differently, depending on where you are born, depending on the environment. And so for me, being born, I'm a last born in the family, being born there, it was hunger, like really a village. Forget about, imagine a village and then add a refugee and then add so many things that were really going wrong. My parents had no job. They had no jobs. They would be at home. So it was poverty of all forms. But one thing for sure, I also write about the beauty of the stories from my father. I write about how my mother was really loving and generous. My mom told me that it is important to attain your education. So she said that if there's anything that you're ever going to be in this lifetime, you're going to, it has to be through education. And so she sent me to Kampala City, that's the capital city of Uganda. In Kampala City, life was so difficult as well. That's when I realized that a refugee camp doesn't have to be geographical. It can be environmental, it can be psychological, it can be anywhere. You could be in the city and experience the refugee camp life. And this is what it was. So I got to Kampala City, the poverty, my sister had lots of, we were many. We lived in 1 bedroom, a cramped 1 bedroom. We were like 5 siblings. It was just tough to be there. But one thing though, legacy, the words that she spoke into me, saying that I'm going to be important, I'm going to be to make it life if I pursue my education. So there was a condition there. And then, so from there, from Kampala, and then the war was over in Rwanda. They returned every refugee because the Rwanda was surrounded by different countries, neighboring countries that had all the refugees that had fled before in 1950s. So in 1994, 95, after the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, they returned everybody. We all returned to Rwanda. We got there, man, it was just crazy dead bodies, all of those things. I'm not going to go into that. But the reason why I'm talking about, because my life, my story is in segments. From a refugee camp to Kampala City to Kigali. I lived there for probably a few years. My mom passed away slightly before we went back to Rwanda. My father passed away slightly before I came to Canada. So I came, got a visa to come, so I started life here. But what I was pursuing, really the journey I had embarked on was a journey of becoming, because I was also growing. But even with depression, even with the feelings of like the baggages that I was carrying, feeling like I'm rejected, feeling like I'm drifting from a relative to a relative, feeling, you know how you go to a relative, I don't know about you, but I can tell you, for me, going to relatives' homes, I always felt like a nobody, a vagabond, somebody that,
you're always an outsider.
I always felt like I was unwanted. I was new. Like for me, it was always about my mother. My mother had passed away. So I'm like, if as long as my mom is here, I don't think anybody will ever love me. And that was the feeling. But even with that, I developed praying. I developed coming to God. I would write letters to God and like, God, I'm here. This is what's happening. Like, you know, I was always updating God about my journey, my life, and all of that. So I eventually got a visa to come here. I get here, go to high school, and then along the way met a husband. I got married. Life became difficult.
Life became difficult.
It became very difficult because when I came to Canada, I really was hungry for education. One, I wanted to pursue education not just for me, but also for my mother. It was like a legacy she had left for me. That was the only thing I really was holding on to. I'm like, I know my mom may not be here, but one thing for sure is that the words that she spoke to me, into me, will continue to uphold me. So that was education. So when I got here, I'm like, I'm going to study as much as I was thinking. I'm going to do my master's. I'm going to do PhD. Like, yeah, you know, that's where my journey really was headed. So I met the guy, got married. I didn't stop going to school, but I graduated high school, and then that was in June. We did our wedding in June.
Wait, you graduated high school and then got married shortly after?
So we did the wedding in August. Graduated in June, and then August.
Okay.
We did the wedding.
Just a couple of months after your high school graduation.
Yeah, but we had dated for a year, so a little bit, yeah. So
hold on. When you say dated for a year, is this somebody that you met in high school? Is this like about your age? Someone of about your age, or what was it like? Is that a young person that you were, like someone of your peer?
He was not that old, but he was also not young. Like we were not in the same age range.
Bracket, okay.
So
that was a full-grown man. That was a full-grown man.
He was, and there was also a pastor of the church that I was attending. He was an associate pastor there. So when I came here, you know, when you get here, I don't know about you guys, but for us here, when you get anywhere you
go to the church.
You'll be looking for the community.
Right, okay.
You'll be looking for the church. Is there one of these people? Is there any? Do they have stores? Like, you know, we'll be looking for that.
For community, right.
Yes, the community, the feelings of the community. So this is what I did. So I went. Not only did I join high school, but I also was looking for a church. Then somebody said, "Oh, there's a Rwandan community church. Please feel free to join. They love people and all of that." So that's how I joined. So I met him there.
Right.
I met him there. He was an associate pastor. So yeah, life goes on, went on, and then so eventually asked me out. I agreed reluctantly, but there was no like, oh my God, this guy. You know how it is. Like, you know, when you see a guy, you're like, I'm into this one. When you tell your friends, like, you know, it was not like that. It was just out of respect I had for him. I just said, okay, why not?
Okay, you developed a relationship.
We developed that relationship, but
it went in that direction.
So it started like, hi, how are you doing? He just came. Even to this day, he's very social, he loves people. So every new person that would come, I think he was in charge of that, I'm not sure. But he was always interested in like a warm welcome to people, to the newcomers, whoever came as new. He would be reaching out, he would be praying for them. So he was really, still is to this day. So, but at the time that's how we got introduced. Then after, like, so we would go out, we would go for coffee, this and that. But honestly, and I'm gonna pause here and say that this marriage thing, this is not a joke.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, sometimes
I know, but I want to hear what you mean.
I know, like, this is what I'm saying. What I mean is, when somebody asks you out, when you don't have a plan, when you don't have intentionality about going out with that person, don't do it. Don't do it. This is what I tell young girls. Don't do it. If you have no plans of pursuing this relationship, if you're not feeling it, if there is no compatibility of all forms, whether emotional, physical, whatever it is, don't go ahead with that.
Yeah, it's like you have to understand why you are getting into the relationship, not just going along with it's becoming a relationship.
Yes. Yeah. So this, for me, it was a reluctant kind of, like,
it was almost an obligation, I think.
An obligation, but somehow, like,
I know what you're saying, because the reason I mentioned,
hi, let me just say hi. Let me call back, that kind.
Yes, the reason I'm mentioning it is because I don't want viewers to. I suspect, I know what viewers always say. It's like she's trying to make an excuse, but I know exactly what you are saying, because this happens a lot with even guys. It happens with a lot of people, just because you just get into that flow, and before you know what's happening, if somebody makes a move towards making it a relationship, sometimes you find yourself just ending up, all of a sudden you find yourself in a relationship.
Yeah, that was it for me. Like, for me, I was like, it's easy, it's casual, like, he knew what he wanted. And here I am in high school with my backpack. He said, let's go for coffee. I'm like, okay. I was always yes. I never, but also, I'm not making excuses. He knew what he wanted. He knew that I was going to be his wife. He would tell people, he would not tell me, but he would tell other people, and I would hear from other people. But for me, I was like, no. There's no way. I don't even like him. That was always my response. But really, he pursued me, and somehow I said yes. But this is the thing, though. We had a big argument about. He said he wanted to really, like, start planning wedding and all that. This guy had already saved up. He had saved up. He had bought furniture, everything. And he comes to, every time we would go out on a date and all that, he's speaking like I'm already his, in a way. And I'm not looking at it seriously. I'm not taking him seriously.
I want to tell you something. I think this is something that everybody needs to begin to understand this now, because people are always saying when a man sees his wife, he knows. And I've always been fighting that thing. The reason is this. You can know because this is what you want, but that means you're not taking into consideration what that other person wants.
Yeah.
And it may work out for you because this is what you want. But first, it is only right to also take into consideration, because I also had this situation myself. And the guy went to complain to my family that I'm not even behaving like someone that they're about to marry. And I was like, that I don't call, I don't visit. I was like, what is he talking about? I wasn't even dating him. It was like, she never comes to look for me. She never, simply because you have expressed what you want, you've taken it automatically in your mind that you own this person now.
And for there's no excuse for whatsoever. But this is the reality that happened for me. He not only did he know what he wanted, but he always had a little bit of like some kind of like you know how you twist somebody's arm to get something. So he would apply some pressure subconsciously. Like, I spoke to mom. The whole family was here. They loved me. The family loved me. Still do to this day, even after divorce. But he would talk to the mom. I respected and honored his mother. She looked like my own mom. So every time after the service, I would go sit beside her. She really loved me too. So because he knew that whatever mom says, I would not say no, and that was the truth. He would go to his mother and say, "Oh, we're gonna come. Me and Paula, we are coming. Well, Mom, we're gonna come." So I end up saying yes because I didn't want to disappoint the mother.
It's so true. It's so true. This is what happens.
Yeah. So I didn't want to disappoint the mother. Eventually connected with the sisters. Eventually connected with the brothers. So he had a sneaky way of...
You were trapped already.
Yes, he was introducing me to his family. His whole family. And they are so beautiful. They are wonderful people. So they loved me. They go, like, when somebody gives you over and over something, eventually you're indebted to them.
I almost want to cry because, I have so many... And that's the new season that I'm entering. I want to be reading all these things. This is how a lot of marriages were created.
Yes.
Somebody just was doing something. The other person was going along, but under pressure. And feeling like, how can I speak up? When can I speak up? And before you know what's happening, children have come.
Look, a year had gone by. I never felt some sense of like I miss him. He was always the one calling. Sometimes I don't respond. I was busy in the library studying. So that's how much I was. It's like I was indebted to the family that really loved me. So he would use that little bit somehow, like how you sneak in behind and push something to your agenda. It was the same. But, and again, this is not an excuse. This is just the reality of what happened. And eventually we had that tense conversation one evening, and he said, "You have to tell me." But already he had seen that I'm already comfortable in his environment, in his family, all of that. And so he gives me this, it's like an ultimatum. You have to say yes, if not, there are other girls. So you put in something like that, you're putting me into competition. There were so many girls, Rwandan girls, Burundian at church. The church was vibrant, so everybody was looking to him, all of that. So when he mentioned that, I'm like, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. But he left something in me. When he left, after that date, that intensity of conversation, I said I'm going to call him and pray that he doesn't pick up, and then I'm going to leave a voicemail saying, "No, please go ahead and do your thing, not me, don't include me. It was nice knowing your family. It was nice knowing you as a pastor, as a social person, as a good person. Really, he's a good person, but not as a husband to me, not as romantically involved with me." So when I picked up the phone, I was lucky that he didn't pick. So I left a voicemail. This is what the pressure did. Instead of saying no, I said yes. And before we know it, it's not like in this era where it's WhatsApp, you can go back and delete immediately, or like you tell the person there was a typo, it was some kind of mistake, right? No, this was an landline. So the voicemail already got there. He got it. He didn't call me immediately. He called the senior pastor. He called, what I mean? Like, so he went around before even coming to me to be. Even if it was like I wanted that, at least he would have called me and congratulate me and, tell me the plans, babe, all those kind of things. He didn't do that. So he talked to the family, he said, "Oh, she said yes." Talk to the senior pastor, the family, she said yes. And the next day, he says, I want us to meet, I want us to plan how we're going to go to church and introduce ourselves. I was as shy as crazy. I was how old? It was maybe 20, 21. I was very, very, this Rwandan shy girl. Like, you would tell go, she goes. You would tell sit, she sits. That's how I was at the time.
But you know that it happens to even people much older? People in their 30s and 40s, men and women.
Yeah.
Do the same thing. You just find yourself like, I'm already on that path. And it's almost as if you lose yourself and you are living
Yes.
in other person's, you are living a script that somebody else has given you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was it. That was a script. I was just walking in it. So we meet. He says we're gonna go to church. I said, okay. We go stand there, we talk about, we give a testimony of how, what the Lord, how the church people do. The Lord has done it. He has answered our prayers. He's a pastor. He knows what he's saying. And I'm standing there like a tree. I'm just in my makeup and my heels and all of that. That was it. And if I tell you that I still didn't understand what I was doing. I still didn't think that the moment would come and I'll be in this man's house.
I know.
I was just like a zombie.
I know.
Like for me, I was just focused. I'm in school. I'm very much focused in my studies. I'm studying so hard and all of that. It didn't occur to me that this man is gonna marry you, girl.
You're not alone. I know. I have them here. There's so many.
Oh my God, if there's anything I tell girls, please be intentional. Say no and mean it. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Nobody's going to kill you if you say no. It's just your life, because one simple yes, it will change the trajectory of your life.
Let's even change it. Let's even change it from saying no. Let's even say, right from the get-go, you already mentioned it right from the beginning. If this is not the intention that you have, and your reason, what is your reason? And the reason can be anything but for people who value love and affection.
Yeah,
that has to be your only reason, because people have a lot of other reasons. I want to have children before I get past my reproductive age. I want to get married because I'm getting older. I won't find someone else. I need someone to take care of me. All those reasons. All those reasons are not ingredients for a loving marriage. But if you're getting into a marriage for finances, own that to yourself and understand that this is why you're doing it, right?
Yeah. And look, they are okay. All those reasons are okay if you own them.
Yes.
If that's your purpose, why not? That's okay. Yeah. But for me, I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just following the guy who already knew what he was doing. And really, the wedding up, he's like, okay, so he went so quick. He's the one who called back home. Can you imagine? I come from a military family. Almost all my brothers and big brothers and all of that, they are generals, they are colonels, they are all that. I was afraid to call anybody, because when I left, they knew that this girl went to school.
It wasn't your story. So how you can...
It was not my...
Yeah. So how you can't be telling a story that isn't even yours. You're not motivated to tell the story.
It was not. Yeah. So he says, oh, tell me the name of one of your brothers that you really trust enough for me to call and speak to them and tell them about the marriage and all of that. I said, okay. I gave him the number to one of my brothers who was a little bit less strict. He was a senator in the government in Rwanda, and so at least for him, he was a little bit older and not that military kind of person. So I said, okay, call him. They talked. He agreed. And they did the introduction without me. In Rwanda, they put my picture. It was just sad. Looking back, I'm like, my goodness, who does that? But one thing for sure is that was a journey. When I started writing the second book, the first book I wrote was Purpose Beyond Pain. I wrote it when I came to Regina. I'm kind of like skipping a little bit, but I'll come back to it. But the reason why I'm saying I'm skipping to this part is because when I wrote the second book, Defined for Purpose, that we're just talking about, is because I say that God, this life, this journey, I must be intentional about in anything and everything. I must be. Even if it means that there is no man coming, I'm going to be okay with that. But one thing for sure, there's no way I am entering anybody's house. Forget about marriage, even any other relationship. Anything I'm planning to do, whether it's a job, I have to know what I'm doing.
Give me 5. Until you get to that, something happens in your life, and until you get to that, you continue to fumble, right? Continue to fumble. Whether it's politics, education, whatever.
Whatever it is, because anything you do without you with your intentionality in it, without it, let me tell you, it changes your life, and there's no way you cannot go back to alter that. You have already spiraled in a different kind of journey, and there's no way you're turning back. You can't turn back the time. But I have learned, and I'm grateful. I'm saying that I'm grateful because this is the point I was gonna bring. When I wrote the second book, Defined for Purpose, Born Before Pain but Sent Through It, it was an inspiration was the conversation in Jeremiah 1:5. We find a conversation between God and Jeremiah. Jeremiah was young; he was a teenager, and God is calling him to serve him. He speaks to God, saying that he's young. He cannot face the congregation that was older, the patriarchs and the matriarchs, the older generation. So he's basically telling God that he's not going to do that. But in a way, not refusing adamantly, but just telling God that his insecurities. This is what God said. He said that, Jeremiah, before you ever became a physical form, before you were ever formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. That means you existed. So you came straight from the heart of God as a spiritual form. What that tells me, and he also said that I knew you, but I consecrated you. That in order for you to become a prophet or anything, you have to go through a journey of consecration. This was for Jeremiah, but it was also the same for me. In order for
you know why I'm laughing? The truth is, really, the truth is, I say these things and I keep on pointing to look at where it said this in the verse, so. And then I got to a point where I realized, you know what? It doesn't even matter if you are not a Bible-believing person.
Yes.
Even if you are not a religious person. Because here is the thing, did you create yourself? Do you understand? So we need to begin to understand, and especially, so I say that particularly if you are a Bible believing person, these things are there already for you. You don't have any business in the things that you are going through, if not for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
If not for the lack of knowledge.
Yeah. But for you, and I'm gonna say this because as much as it's a consecration journey, as much as it's how God prunes you along the way, still we must be intentional. That's the point. We must know where we are in the moment of our decision making. We must know that what the decision I'm going to make, whether for a new job, whether for my children, you have to know if there are consequences that are coming after that. You also have to know that the benefits that comes after that.
With your eyes open.
With your eyes open. So that down the road, you're not going to be like, oh, somebody made me do that. Oh, it was because you come up with these excuses. Because at some point, I had to stop. This is why I had to stop. Like, I stayed in the marriage for 10 weeks. Anyways, fast forward, we got married and all of that. 10 years. Uzo, I am seated there.
People are stubborn. I'm so happy to hear you say this because I keep telling people, don't make people do things. Even if I want to do it for your own good, whatever I want to do, don't make people do things because a person is going to be loyal to what is inside them, even if they're not conscious of it.
Yeah. That's a good point. They are going to be loyal to what is inside of. He was loyal to the plan that he had already curated.
Yes.
no matter how I wanted things to change, no matter how I wanted to see the relationship happening, he was already established, settled in the fact that he's married.
Yeah.
He's a pastor. So we are walking in that facade. I think we've heard about that. We talked about the facade part a lot. But when you're loyal to your own plans, you actually don't look at other people around you, how it affects them.
Yeah.
So as much as I'm not excusing for any of that, because he didn't put a gun over my head to say yes, even though there was a different kind of gun point.
Actually, it was, but he's not going to believe. He may know it by now, and other people are living exactly this every day, and not just in marriage, in everything about life. But until people who have realized it, they understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh my God. So marriage happens, children came about, and then one day, and I'm gaining weight and I'm miserable. I did my university, graduated with honors, which was one of the things that I'm really proud of, though, is that even in my depression and my stress, I was determined to pursue my education with all I've got. So I graduated and all of that, and one day I woke up. I just had a baby, the second born at the time. I looked at myself also. I hated what I saw.
One moment, sorry, please. Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to use this opportunity, this moment,
Sure.
to remind parents what you're saying is very cogent, in the sense that your mother's words, they kept on motivating you even in her absence. So it's very important what we say to the young ones around us, to our children or other young ones around us. Give words that when the person is in any situation somewhere tomorrow, that is what they use as, I have to do this thing, as motivation. Give motivating, positively motivating words to our children.
My mother's words were my blueprint. Was mapping, was a compass. It kept on rerouting me.
I'm so sorry I interrupted your thoughts.
No, it's good. This is a conversation. It's beautiful. As much as I would look at myself and I'm off track, I would remember her words. I would remember her face. So that always kept me. Let me say to mothers out there, if you're watching and you're listening, speak good into your children. Pour out every beautiful thing, and I think it is this Solomon who says that the beautiful words are like honey that soothes the heart. So the words that we speak to our children, they are so much needed. They are so much imperative for their journey, because there will be a moment where you're not walking with them. I don't think my mother knew that she will not be there when I'm all grown and I'm going through all these issues. But what she had spoken to me kept me. I would sit, I would hide in the library, I would read books. I loved literature. I would read Chinua Achebe. Things fall apart. Those stories kept me. And my father too, he was a poet, he was a judge, he had all these rich storytelling moments. So what I'm trying to say here is that if you're a mother or you're a father,
you're sowing into your children.
Speak life into your children. Speak blessings into your children. Tell them that they're going far. Tell them that they're going to be so important.
And I'll use this opportunity again for those who speak negative words to their children, because some of the adults that we see today, some people who are shrinking, they are shrinking because that is the seed that was sown into them by their parents. They were taught, you are this. You are this. So every time they even when they face challenges, all they are thinking is, I'm not really anything, so therefore, and that's how people...
might as well be just that. But my mother, even she has affected how I raise my children. She has affected how I went through divorce. No drama, no fights, no anger, just accountability to myself. Paula, you cannot blame this man. He gave you what he had.
Give me another 5. Give me 10. 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 Yeah, I love it. Accountability. I love it.
Yeah. Self-accountability. Yeah. It all came because of how my mother raised me, and my father, by the way. Some people say that when you talk about your mom so much and you forget about your father, but they're both equally beautiful. But when my mom would speak really like, and I was really young, but when I went through that divorce, pastors would call me. That's when I arrived in Regina with no money, no nothing, with the young usher. I know you know him. He was 10 months old. I was still breastfeeding him. I was as skinny as it gets. Nothing to my name, no nothing. But I had the inner strength, and this is where I have these concepts that I've developed along the way. The inner strength, that this God-given resilience that refuses to give up. That was because of what my mother had spoken to me about. It's like, you will be somebody through education. You would go far because of education. You will be, all that was key to whatever I went through. So I told myself, like, you cannot blame this man. At some point I called him and I said, whatever you never gave me, never blame yourself. You didn't have. I know we had issues, we had this and that, and we would have bishops coming and praying for us, we would have them counsel us. But honestly, after the end of that meeting or that phone call, things went back to how they were before. So I realized that what he's giving is what he has. And it would be unfair. Yeah. It would be unfair of me to expect something from somebody when they have that. They don't have that. Yes. It would be unfair for me to ask a dog for milk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It would be unfair.
Yeah.
So that's where holding myself accountable.
And the other way around too. You are not saying it yourself. I'll say it. It's also unfair to expect of you something that you don't have, because you didn't have that relationship with him. It's impossible to expect of you to be able to have a relationship that you don't actually have.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I arrived in Regina, but even before I get to Regina, the marriage is happening. We are going to church, all churchy, all beautiful, all elegant, and all that. All kind. We are going to churches. We're going to conferences. What you see on the outside is a woman who had fully formed, who had graduated, who looked elegant in the high heels and all of that, who is interpreting, doing ministry really alongside a husband that I don't know who he is, who doesn't know who I am. And we are looking very beautiful outside.
Together.
People are looking like, oh my God, beautiful couple, oh my God, you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But I basically, and I write that in my book, I had mastered it. I had an expertise in being strong while I'm falling apart on the inside. That's what I was doing. I was doing this, developing the skill set of becoming strong on the inside. I mean, on the outside. But all the while, on the inside, I'm falling apart. I'm choking. I'm gasping for air. I'm wondering, God, how will I ever get out of here? So one morning, I wake up. I'm looking at myself. I had gained weight after the baby, which was okay. And I didn't recognize me. I remembered my mother. I said, if my mom was here, would she like what she sees? Or maybe because she was traditional, who knows? I don't know what she would have loved. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't think she would see me as unhappy and be happy about it. So called it a switch, called it a personal awakening. I got my baby, strapped him in a stroller. I walked from where we lived in the East End to downtown, walking. It's like an hour walk to go look for a job. And if I get a job, it's just gonna be for a month to get a ticket and get out of Toronto. At the time I didn't know where I was gonna go. I just started the job. I got to downtown. There was a motel, still is here. And I walked in. The manager is from Rwanda, so when he saw me, he thought that I was coming to book the rooms for people who are coming for conferences and all that. So it's like, oh, Mama Pastor, they call us Mama Pasteur. Mama Pastor, that's a French. They go, oh, how many do you need? Are you looking for? How many rooms? And do we have a conference coming up? I'm like, no. This was a different person. I'm like, don't call me that. This is what I'm looking for. I had an awakening that I was so aggressive. I didn't care. You know how we when you're putting up a facade, you don't want people to know your issues,
No, there was no more hiding.
No more hiding. Like you have to stop running at some point. You can run.
Running from yourself. Yeah.
You know the saying that you can run, but you can't hide.
You can't hide, yeah. Wherever you turn, there you are. You are still there. Yeah. So
I arrived, this guy, I said, and he's from Rwanda. I'm like, I don't want him to know our issues, whatever. This time I'm like, no conference happening. It is me. I need a job. He's like, well, we don't have a job. I'm like, you don't have anywhere to clean? I can clean. I started telling him how good I am. And indeed I was. That was the only job I knew how to do very well, mostly. So he's like, so he got really sad. He's like, really? He's like, what's going on? What about Pastor? I'm like, please don't include him in this. This is me and you. Do you have a job or not? He said, let me see what I can do. God bless him. He came back. He's like, when do you want to start? I'm like, can I start now? I started right away. It was like around 12.
Oh my God.
I started working, and then I'm up to 3. I had to run back to pick up the older. Michael was in the elementary school at the time, and so I kept on. I didn't tell my husband at the time that I started working. I just went for it. The day came in the morning, woke up very early, took the usher in the daycare, Michael to school. I went to work. I'll be walking. For a month, I got my ticket. I got the paycheck. Bought the ticket. I called my husband. He was at work. I said, tomorrow, I'm going to Saskatchewan. He's like, what happened? Whatever, did you have that in the planning? I said, yes. So he came home. He's like, oh, we talked when I came home. He came home. He found me packed up. I was breastfeeding. I'll never forget. And he says, what if you don't get a job? I'm like, I'm going to get a job. That was it. I packed up in the morning. There was nothing left in my account to buy even Fanta along the way. Let me call it Fanta like we called it back home.
Yeah.
So I was determined. I come to think of it, this was one of my boldest moves that I could pull. I was scared as hell, but I was as much as I was scared, I was like, I'd rather be scared outside than be scared inside.
Yes. Yes.
So that's basically that's the journey. That's the journey, and then I lived there for. We worked together there, then 7 years, and I got a job back here. So I started writing when I got here, 2020. But the first book, when I wrote it, was from a place of pain, agony, crying, saying, God, where are you?
What were you thinking?
I was scared, but I was determined to make it. I was determined to make my mother proud. I knew she was not alive anymore.
What was the pain about? What was the pain about?
The pain was, as much as you hold yourself accountable, it's painful. Yeah. I was beating myself to sleep. How stupid could it be? Why would you be like a zombie in your own movie?
But I've just told you, this is almost like normal. This is what too many people are living every day. So yes, people just don't know because people are not saying, "Oh, I was a zombie."
Yeah,
you know, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh my God. So that was the pain. That was the beating myself up. That was the please, if you ever get out of this situation, don't you dare ignore yourself anymore. Don't you dare give up on you.
Absolutely.
Don't you dare be desperate for anything. Because when we're desperate for things, people have a tendency to treat you the way they want to treat you.
You will do what you don't even know that you're doing.
Yeah. So that was the pain. So I write that from a space of pain, but also looking back, and I'm grateful at the same time that the Lord had already ordered my steps. A good job. After that, I come back, a good job here working for the city of Toronto. All of that. But when I wrote the second book, this was from a place of gratitude. Can you imagine? I came back. I didn't have the savings. But when I came back with the boys that had already grown, we went to a shelter. And I'm coming back. This coming back was even layered with shame, layered with, oh, she came back. It was more like Naomi. You know, Naomi returns to Bethlehem, and everybody's looking at, oh, Naomi is back. That's from the book of Ruth. Naomi is back, but she is filled with the pain. She had lost everything. She had lost her husband, her sons, and she's returning to a place that is the bread of the house of bread, but really she's hungry. Really she has nothing to show off for. So she tells them that don't call me Naomi because I'm no longer Naomi, I'm Mara. This was the same thing for me almost. I'm back. I'm carrying this shame of divorce. I'm carrying this stigma of a single mother. I used to hear my clients have clients who are single mothers. I'm like, I don't know how they do that. Why would somebody become a single mom? I had no idea until you get into those shoes. That's how you know that they are tight or they are loose. So I come back, we go to a shelter. But even with that, I'm looking at my life, how this was a full circle moment.
Wow. So you had, so you went back there and went to a shelter.
Yeah. Very, very shameful culturally. People here.
What was your reason? Why did you
say that again?
Why did you go back there if you didn't have a house that you were going to and you were going to go to?
Because this was my city. So every time I always wanted to come back, but I'm like, I can't go back without a job. I'm going to be homeless without a job. So when I got a job, I was still working for the government of Saskatchewan. That's when I got a job to come back here. Okay. But I didn't have enough savings to get to wait for an apartment and all of that. I said, I'm going to go to a shelter, and that's okay. I'll sort myself out. But it was a shameful thing to hear people talk about, how our communities are. I get here, I meet people in the streets, they're like, oh my God, you're back? I'm like, yeah, where are you? Want to come visit? I'm like, no, nobody's visiting. You keep lying until they tell you they saw you entering into a shelter, because people know shelters here. And again, this was another running moment that I had to stop hiding. It's okay to be in a shelter. It's
that
okay.
That would be enough to stop some people.
Yeah. So when I entered the shelter, I started writing. This time, I'm grateful. This time, I'm grateful that the hand of God has been upon me. This has been a consecration journey for me. As much as I had poor decisions or bad decisions that led me to different things.
No, I refuse. I refuse that. No, they cannot be labeled as bad decisions or poor decisions. They can just be, I know that they were bad and poor, but what did you know? Do you understand?
What did I know?
That's how we have to give ourselves grace. That's why everybody, because when people find themselves in this thing, I just want people to understand. That's why I keep on talking about accountability. But give yourself grace as well, because if you knew better, you would have done better.
Absolutely.
You only did with what you knew. So, so we shouldn't be ashamed.
Yeah. So, man, that's my journey, and the book is published. And but by the way, before that, I call my ex-husband, after so many years of anger, after so many years of telling pastors and bishops to call me. So people in that Regina, man, like bishops called me, pastors called me, apostles called me, to yell at me, to tell me that that was an abomination, to tell me that is, who does that? What kind of mother are you? What kind of wife? Like, who leaves their pastor husband? Like,
are these people young people, or because I know that they're not young people? The reason I'm asking is
they are older.
I know that was a deliberate question, because the reason I ask that kind of question is, like, if you're older, it's just to show that gray hairs don't always amount to wisdom, right? The reason I say this is, if
that's
a person,
good one.
Because you can't ask a person why they left this place, because nobody leaves a place where they are comfortable, even if it's a house of gold and marble. There's a reason. Even if you are leaving because you are foolish, it is because there's something making you uncomfortable. So your mind, people do not realize this is a human being with a mind, and they're not able to deal with this, even if it's out of foolishness. Allow the person to be in their foolishness, because they're going crazy in that situation that you think is good, isn't it?
Yeah. So one of the apostles really, he had me that I thought about. I told him, I said, because he said he's an apostle, he has an anointing to put couples back together. He wants us to. I said, I thought about it for a minute. I said, Apostle, if you call yourself an anointed man of God and you have that anointing to put people back together, if I compared you to a firefighter, would you return people back to the building that is on fire? Because one thing because if you're saying that you're a rescuer of marriages, you don't even know what happened. You don't even want to know.
No, they don't want to know. They just want to put you together. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They want to look good on paper. They want to look good, like, oh, I have an anointing to put couples together. He was giving me a list of the people that had already gotten back together. I'm like, look, I appreciate you, but I'm not going to be on that list. Because if there is anything that God has done for me that I'm very, very grateful for, is to eventually, finally get out of that house.
Giving you the boldness to take the step that you had to take. Yeah.
So, but those are the bold moves that I've had to do. And then to go to my ex-husband and say, the kids miss you. The kids miss you. We want to come and visit you. He was still in the same place we lived. So that was not I didn't struggle looking for his address. He's angry, like badly with the, he covered his, that shame and made it pain. I mean, like anger. He was very angry towards me, but I'm like, you know what? That's okay. So, and I went back to the church. Also, you must see the church members when I entered.
What? They were staring at you?
they all turned like an alien. It just came down from somewhere, from trees or somewhere, and dropped. And everybody turned. I'm like, hi. Like, should I see? Should I go back? I was just in a flash second.
What did you go to do?
Part of me is very stubborn. One of the bold moves that I have or developed is that if it's a church that is open for people, you cannot stop me. That's one. Two, the boys wanted to go to the church where their father is a pastor. Okay. And they asked me, and I said, why not?
You're not going to stop them because of other people.
I sat down. I had my own traumas, really traumas of going back or seeing him eventually or meeting him. But I told the boys, I'm like, why not? Let's go. But I had those two. I'm like, I'm gonna go. Nobody's gonna kill me.
I'm proud of you because somebody else would have found a way to get out of it and then tell the boys stories. But you don't want to burden those children because of other people.
Yeah.
Because you would have to start giving them excuses and stories. And these are young minds. Why do you want to burden them with something that is not their business?
I don't want to intoxify them. I didn't want to taint their mind. They love their father like they love me. And I didn't want them to ever look at him differently. And I'm glad that's how it is. It still is. They will be calling him. They will be, if I did something wrong, they'll be calling him to complain about me. And I'm okay with that. So I didn't want to jeopardize that. So if he meant me going to church and they'll look at me like I'm some kind of alien, that's fine. I'll be okay with that.
Let my children have their freedom.
Let my children experience their father's presence, their father's joy, even him looking at them. It was just for me to go in a corner and just enjoy what I was looking at. So that was it. And here we are. The book is out. People came and I even went to the church to present it.
You did? Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, instead of hiding and just hiding yourself. Like, when you think about it, what are you're hiding? People are hiding from people who are hiding from people. There's a Nigerian musician who sang, I'm a prisoner, you're a prisoner too. You, Mr. Jailer, you are my warden when you are also a prisoner. So we're hiding from people who are busy hiding from themselves and from us. Like, what are you doing? And then living a lie.
Yeah. So here we are. And so recently I started writing another book, Audacity to Belong, but then I stopped and I said I want to do something different. And I wanted to create a space for people to really be themselves. Boldspire.
Look at what you wrote. You said the grace of boldness is understanding that if you're going to reach your full potential, sometimes you have to take your own chair at the table, even if no one has saved a spot for you. It's knowing that you're always worthy to be there. That's beautiful.
That's it.
That's beautiful.
That is it.
Yeah.
That is it. I want people, I want mothers, I want those who are in marriages that are really choking air out of them to pause for themselves. To pause. And I'm going to say this because sometimes we use our children to deny ourselves of our own very existence that is worthy. So pause for you. If you're a mom, if you're a father, because there also are fathers who are also struggling. This thing is not just one-sided. You know, even though the majority, at least statistics show that the majority is women, but really there are men out there who are also suffering.
That's because men are not talking. They've written to me. They've spoken to me, but they're not talking publicly, right?
Yeah.
The kinds of things that I've heard, some of them will make you want to cry. If you know the extent that people go to try to to make it work so that it doesn't get out there that this thing is like this. The kinds of things that they put themselves through.
Yeah.
So.
I want to encourage people to come out from hiding. Stop running. You can run, but you can't hide. These things, you can hide them for so long, but they have a way of coming out. And when they do come out, they will embarrass you.
Even if they don't come out in that way, they make you sick. People are getting sick from.
Sure. We are looking at people with heart attacks, with stroke, and all of those things. These are pains that have always been that have never been dealt with.
Yeah, your body is secreting hormones because your body isn't functioning the way that your mind is affecting the way your body is functioning. So it's sending messages to the brain, and the brain is responding and trying to hold things together. So, yeah.
Well, so here we are.
So your book's message is that we are defined before pain, but sent through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
that was again Jeremiah coming live to me. That was God telling him that as much as he going to go through the consecration, really, what is the consecration journey is really the pains, the struggles, the potholes along the way, the hang-up moments, the pivotal moments, the pain points, all of those things, they are a combination of that consecration journey. But if you were to become a prophet, like God was telling him, before you get to that prophetic point or moment, before you get to somewhere to prophesy or do whatever it is that God has called you to do, you have no way of hiding or running away from that journey. Yes. That's it's basically the pains are the pathways, the pathology for us to get to the place where God is calling us to be. And this, you don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to believe in God. This is how it is. There is something that you must accomplish. And before you accomplish that thing, there's a journey you have to undertake. That journey is going to have to include the pains, the betrayals, the hatred, all of those things. So this is what it is when I was writing about the title and the subtitle, is that as much as we become the best versions of ourselves, but there is a way to get there, and that is pain, that is all kinds of pruning.
And so because of that, you have now created this idea of Boldspire. So what is Boldspire about?
So basically Boldspire, beginning with this year, last year I had a beautiful moments, defining moments, but I also had some moments where I felt unfulfilled. I was writing, yes, but there was something inside of me that was really missing. But when I began this year, January, if I can go back, I was always scared. If they invited me to speak somewhere, I always found a way to
get out of it.
Yes. Like, I don't want to be judged. What if I don't know what I'm going to say? What if I'm going to stutter or stammer? What if my what if would become so big that I end up staying home? So beginning of this year, I said, if I looked at the people that inspire me, even the Bible that I love to read, these people spoke. That's how we changed. These people did what they were told to do. That's how we look at them, their stories, and we are transformed. So if everybody that inspires me behaved like me, was scared like me, what would I have read? Who would have inspired me? So I said, I'm going to become that which scares me, but bring other people from their scare, from out of their hiding. I said, how do I call it? What do I call it? Boldness, Boldspire. Look up, be bold. Even when your voice trembles, just trust that it matters. Even when nobody has invited you, take your own chair wherever they have not invited you. I've walked in some rooms in conferences where I don't know if you've seen where you get there and the tables they're reserved. You get there, but they can't allow you to sit. That in those moments, I bring my own chair. If I have to stand, I'm standing, but I'm owning that room. If I have to bring my own microphone, I have to speak. I'm going to come and bring and speak. So I said, I am going to start this thing. This is going to be a movement. It's going to be a community. I'm going to tell everybody who has been scared or still scared, who enters the classroom and they tell them to present and they're about to faint. This happened to me. I almost fainted when they asked me to present in class. So I said, enough already. Enough. If it stops with me, I have to bring other people. Let us create this graceful gratitude sentence. We start with our gratefulness. We start with telling people what God has done. Really, you cannot tell me that you're born in a refugee camp. Uzo, that was a hunger personified space, hunger of all forms. But for me to come out of there and to be in one of the metropolitan cities in the world and sit in hiding. That's a shame.
Exactly. Like how dare you really? How dare you?
Yeah. So I've begun that movement, that space, that I want people to come out. Just come as you are. Say however you, even if you're trembling, even if you're scared, come. We're going to hold that space. We're going to sojourn together. We're going to grow together. We're going to become.
So many
people. Yeah. I see people preaching. I'm like, I can do that, but then I'm hiding. I see people writing. Even before I started writing, I admired people who are writing their stories. So I'm like, not anymore. I can't afford. I'm 40. I'm gonna be 43. I can't afford to be anxious anymore.
Exactly. So like what are you keeping? It's like lighting a candle and then hiding it in the closet.
So this is it. Subscribe if you can. Come and let's just share conversations. Yeah.
And what is the name of they should subscribe to what? What are they subscribing to? What is the name?
It's called Boldspire.
Okay, I'll put it across here.
Yeah, Boldspire podcast. Okay. It's also in my tab. The founder.
Oh, okay.
Boldspire community podcast, conversations with Paula. We talk about anything and everything. These life issues, and how we can overcome them, how we can challenge them, how we can hold space for each other without really judging. Because listen, a lot happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paula.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've heard it. You are not to light your candle and hide it under the bed where it's not helpful for anybody.
That's right.
You're doing yourself a disservice and you are doing the world a disservice, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, all right. And with that, guys, go on to Paula's platform and that's where you'll be sharing stories about where you're coming from, why that happened, and open up and begin to live life. Right? And stop being a prisoner, right?
Yeah. Okay. And Define for Purpose is on Amazon too.
Oh, right. Define for Purpose. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. When are you coming to Toronto anyway? Having said that, when are you coming? Come on.
Hey.
I don't know. Like, I still don't get it.
You weren't quite present.
I wasn't.
It was happening. You were participating somehow, but it wasn't quite real. But as if it was something you were watching.
Yeah. So I call it stumbling into marriage. Actually, so I stumbled in there, tried to make the most out of it, and things were not going well at all. And process pain. And whatever I felt, I experienced at my sisters, I never talked about it. Whatever I experienced at my brothers, I never talk about it. Who do I tell? How do I say it? They will say, oh, you're the last one, the silly one. Don't stop complaining, stop whining, those kind of things. So I learned to keep it in. So all those pains that are piling up, unprocessed, unspoken. So I got married with that unprocessed pain.
That's why I'm always saying that you cannot get diamond if you don't pass through the fire. You can't get the best part or the best version of who you're supposed to be without going through those pains and those challenges. And after that, you mustn't let it go to waste. If you let it go to waste, you are doing the whole world a disservice, right? So you are doing something wrong when you are hiding yourself. Nobody is going to clap for you. You're not going to win any trophies. But on the other hand, you have the opportunity to help to make people see life from a point of view where they can be inspired to also go for the things, the desires that they want, and to stop living a life that isn't theirs. And so I know that this episode is very informational and helpful for you. Okay, thank you to Paula. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day and join me in the next episode. Bye bye.